he can do what he wants, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea.
I think Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez.
I think he's too small. But then again, I thought he was too small for Spence, so shows what I know.
But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
How is Crawford, his composure going to be like the moment a punch lands on him from Canelo?
Are you kidding me? Take that question back.
Yeah, why?
Because you're talking about Crawford.
Yeah.
He's
But in weight classes,
the most composed guy. Yeah. What, you don't think he'll be prepared? You think it'll be a shock to him? No.
Fighters explain Canelo Alvarez's predicted dominance. Boxing legend Terence Crawford, Mike Tyson, has severe doubts about Crawford's chances and isn't convinced about this contest. He feels that this fight is not in Crawford's best interest, and he warns that, given Canelo's size, strength, and relentless pressure,
he's gonna be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Floyd, it was Floyd, and then it's gonna be Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's on the line with that fight, right? Canelo and Terence is whose era is it? Yeah. Right?
Nah.
I think Canelo had his time.
Yeah, Canelo had his time. Yeah.
Just go submit our time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
What made Bomac such a great trainer?
He can adapt to any style, bro. Like, he can adapt to any style. First of all, like DB3, we all got different styles. And he all been making this better in our own style. He got Troy Eisen. Troy Eisen is a different style. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, he got Avius Griffin. Avius Griffin is a different style. Of course, y'all know Jamel Herring and Terence Crawford. All different styles. And he make these fighters great. He can adapt to any style. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes him a great.
entering the ring with him could not go well for him. Tyson believes that Crawford faces a risky task that might be too much for him to undertake. David Benovitz sees Canelo Alvarez as an inspiration and thinks the impending bout between Canelo and Crawford is a worthy contest. Benz's admiration for Canelo's abilities and accomplishments in the ring.
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. So, yeah, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason, right?
He said Teofimo and Bouts are going to be on your October undercard.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
the
heard
winners
that.
would fight each other. Is that what you were told?
I didn't know that, but I'm
What do you
down.
think of that?
I don't care. Yeah, let's do it. I wanted to fight Teofimo, too.
Lasso, I gotta do this. I agree with you that there's just like there's a lot of sanctioning bodies, there's a lot of promoters, there should be more testing organizations, not just one. Tell me about that. Why are you so adamant about Novak?
I think that when a coach is pushing a certain organization, it just strikes me off weird. And for it to be like a mandatory thing, like, why can't I use another organization, you know? But again, I don't want to talk about him because, you know,
highlights his upbeat attitude about the fight. Ryan Garcia highlights Canelo's physical prowess. He claims that Canelo has a considerable advantage against Crawford, who is rising in weight classes because of his strength, size, and power. Garcia thinks that Crawford may find it difficult to overcome Canelo's physicality because of the...
It's going to come to fruition in September. What are your thoughts on that bout?
I have nothing to say. It's a good fight. And it's a good fight. I wish both of them the best.
All right, next question. Do you use that for motivation at all? Like Canelo's, like, you know.
I definitely do use that as motivation because if I was such an easy fighter and target, he would have came and beat me already. Just for him not fighting me lets me know how dangerous I am.
How would you approach a fight?
Is there scissors? Is there scissors? Ask for scissors. Go ahead.
How would you approach a fight with Terence Crawford if it was you against Crawford?
To be honest with you, if I fought Terence Crawford, I would definitely use my size, my reach, my weight to my advantage. Crawford is a very smart fighter, but I guess thankfully I'm not fighting him.
Significant weight class differential. Given Canelo's propensity for delivering strong blows, Sean Porter has voiced concerns about Crawford's ability to manage his striking strength. Porter doubts Crawford's capacity to endure such force, particularly in light of the weight and jump classifications. This worry is a reflection of the larger uncertainty regarding Crawford's ability to withstand the physical strain.
Robert, what's a smart bet on Crawford Canelo? Canelo by knockout or Canelo by decision?
Crawford by decision. And you have to bet?
Yes.
I say Canelo by decision. Crawford by decision. No, but you say Canelo by knockout or Canelo?
Yeah, no, because I'm saying that's what's going to happen. Canelo's going to beat him. But which one?
I don't know, man. Crawford is fucking exactly. I've always been saying, I think Canelo at the end, obviously his strength, his weight,
Experience?
Probably takes over, but I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford just fucking boxes and fights smart and beats him.
He's probably gonna be 40-1 underdog or something crazy like that, right? It's not gonna be close.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
3 weight
maybe
classes?
3-4-1. No crees?
Nah.
It's not gonna be that big of a difference. No.
When you pick the knockout? No, when you pick the knockout?
You pick a knockout. But if it's just
who wins straight out?
I think it's gonna be maybe 3-1, 4-1. Maybe that's too much. Maybe 2-1. Maybe 2
I don't think so.
Tell me,
So they finally announced Ryu's fight. Gary Russell, what do you think? Not easy fight? No easy fights in this level? It's going to be, finally you guys will be, the first time you're ever going to a Tank fight, right? To work a corner?
We're a corner at Tank's fight.
Is Tank's the main event?
Of facing a bigger opponent by nature. Canelo's size and power advantages will help him win the bout, according to Mikey Garcia. According to him, these elements will be very important in deciding the result, with Canelo's physique being a deciding factor in the fight. Roy Jones Jr. has commended Canelo's skills and recognized Crawford's ambition to compete with the greatest. Given that Canelo is one of the best fighters in the sport,
I'm not even a fan of that fight. They're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even greater for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and at that point it's more of a big fight for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Bivol again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy moving up.
he says that if Crawford loses to him, it might be a major turning point in his career. Although specifics of his analysis are not given, Robert Garcia has evaluated the bout and believes Canelo will win. His evaluation supports the prevailing viewpoint that favors Canelo, probably taking into account elements like size, strength, and prior experience in higher weight classes.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can,
Canelo?
in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Additionally, he claims that Robert Garcia thinks that if Terence Crawford fights Canelo Alvarez, it will be for the huge payout, because he feels that Crawford has accomplished enough and doesn't need to fight anymore because he has secured his future and leads a responsible life. However, if the fight takes place, Garcia sees Crawford putting up a competitive 6 to 8 rounds before Canelo takes control.
A potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight? Who
I
do you
like Terence. It's
wow.
my friend, but it's crazy man.
Listen, I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo?
Yes, Terence win. But listen, Terence, it's different man. Terence work in две стойка.
Two sides.
Two sides.
Right.
And
And
right,
switch hitter.
yes,
He's a switch
yes,
hitter. Yes.
Right and left. But it's very smart man. It's very, very, very smart. But feel distance and plays like
Adjustments.
spacing,
Exactly.
boxing.
You don't think the weight difference will be a factor too much?
Mario, you're asking him?
That's why I'm asking, exactly.
But, Canelo big, yeah, Canelo too. It's a good boxer, but I say Terence.
Wow.
Garcia thinks that although Crawford may win the early rounds, Canelo's size and strength will overwhelm him in the later rounds. As the bout goes on, Garcia finally notices Canelo controlling. Promoter Eddie Hearn has voiced doubts about Crawford's prospects of defeating Canelo, pointing to the notable weight differential as his main worry. He believes it is unbelievable that Crawford is taking on this task.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence "Bud" Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'd be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him test himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war room can get behind.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing. We'll see.
Suggesting that the physical difference might be too large for Javant Tank to overcome. Without specifically addressing the fight's result, Davis has praised Canelo as one of the best boxers of this generation and a fantastic fighter. The boxing community holds Canelo in the highest regard, as seen by Davis's admiration for him. Teddy Atlas praises Canelo, stating that he is a united champion with remarkable accomplishments and that he is bigger, stronger, and more powerful.
But to me, can Crawford hurt him? I would pick Crawford to win if he can box and stay away. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. And if Canelo catches him, it could be trouble. But I would still say it would be a very interesting fight. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. And I'm wondering whether he could stay away. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. And that's where the problem lies.
What do you think a win like that would do for Crawford? Would that put him
I
up
think it was
Robinson, Mayweather?
He and I spoke about it. He and I spoke about it in Vegas when the UFC event was at the Sphere. It's a fight he wants desperately, he wants badly. He says it's a legacy fight. He thinks about Tommy Hitman Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard and others moving up in weight. And he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez.
Managing a fighter of his caliber is extremely difficult. But it's also unclear if Canelo can handle a smaller, faster, and more defensive opponent. Canelo has occasionally slowed down, especially as he ages, and his opponent's deft footwork and defensive abilities may cause problems.
Not official, but it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford against Matchmaking, people are going to say, "Oh, he had some hiccups." Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Matchmaking was a little difficult to eat. He's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. When you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beating? He unified the. What was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter. Then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter.
As both fighters age, their styles and strengths will determine the result. So strategy and adaptability will be crucial in this matchup. Sports analyst Stephen A. Smith has commented on the contest, praising Crawford's technique, but raising doubts about his capacity to harm Canelo.
Mike, I gotta see this. Terence Crawford, tremendous fighter. You're a big supporter of his. He wants to move up 3 weight classes and fight Canelo. What do you think?
He can do what he wants, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think, what would he have? I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea. People have done things crazy like that before. It's just that he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it.
You posted the other day, there's a picture of you in a Rolls Royce, and you said, the quote is, "I can't remember how many of these I gave away." Tell me about that.
Yes, I don't know. I guess wasn't used to having money. I said, when I have one, you're not accustomed to that shit, man.
Yeah, but not everybody's Mike Tyson. You're very generous. You're a genuine, nice person. Tillman told me that one time you lent him his car, he kept it for like 3 months or something.
I don't know, nigga, shit. Listen, if you have money and you can't help nobody with it, what's the purpose of having it?
Smith, that's all for today's video. Stay tuned until the next one. If Crawford is unable to land powerful blows, Canelo will continuously pressure him by using his power advantage.